Hey guys, it's Mr. Game Freak here, and today we're doing something a little bit different. I'm starting a new series called Tycoon 3, and if you've not played this game before, then what are you doing? It is such a fun game, at least I think. I grew up with this game, so I know a lot about the game. I have my own tastes that I have acquired over the years I've been playing this, so you'll see that translate into the gameplay as well. Now, if you look at this, I've already started this little park here, just so you don't have to see me lay out the base work of it. But as you can see, I really brightened up the park. If you do not know what a park normally looks like when you open up a new park, the grass looks not like that, but it looks like this, where it's kind of dead. So I just take this and I give it that fresh new lawn look, because it really brightens it up and it makes it look much nicer. Now you can also do this darker one. It's also a fresh lawn look, but it's darker, and I don't like it as much as the bright one. So you'll see I really like to make the park bright, lively, full of greenery and trees, and also I plan my rides and paths accordingly. So, for example, here, they're not just going to be left empty. I'm going to put toilets in them. Now, one thing that you have to remember when you're placing little kiosks like this, you have to make sure you turn them on, because I didn't know you had to do that when I started, and they were complaining about how they all had to use the restroom, and I was yelling at my computer because I was, saying, I already have them, you're just being stupid. No, it was me, I was being stupid. Okay, so just remember that you don't go through that same experience that I have done. So one thing I also like to do in the very beginning is create a focal point. So if you ever have gone into a real theme park, right ahead there's normally something just right in front of you, and it either can be like a carousel, a Ferris wheel. I made this observation tower, so they just go up and they spin. It's nothing scary, but as you can see, it's testing right now. There's birds. Ah, there we go. If you click on the birds, their feathers fly in the air. You can see them right there. They're falling. This game is full of little fun things like that, and I found them myself. So if I ever show you them, it's things that I've discovered through the years I've been playing. So like I said, I like to give a nice focal point to the park right away. It makes it very much so more realistic and just happening, I guess, as the new kids would say. So one thing that we're going to have to start off doing is giving it a entrance and an exit. I don't specifically like the exit being over there. Why don't we do this? Now, I'm going to also just go right ahead. I have my own little pattern that I'm following, that I normally follow when I'm making theme parks, which is quite normal because I play this game a lot. And you'll see that flow, that same. So as you can see here, I expanded the path just a little to give you a little idea of how I'm doing this. And this same pattern, I like to make it very symmetric, even though some parks aren't exactly like that in real life. I think it gives a nice look to the park itself. So I normally will leave a corner or a square on the corner, just like how I'm doing right now. And it just makes it it gives the people more space to walk around. But it gives you opportunity to put food stalls and service stalls and plants and things of the sort in there. So why don't we just go right ahead and make the path for. So I'm just going to do it once, and actually, so why don't we just get this one? It's not even right in the pedal. So I think that's pretty okay. You know what? I think it'll be right. So I just have here that I made, and it's a lengthy path over here, or like, whatever you call it. But also, these others, you guys get all lines for everything. But what I do with my lines as well, over here, is like really agree with it. The outside here, you can't put much here, so most of the time I'll just do something like this. And I'll put a food stall, a restroom, or anything like that. Over here, just make it all of this nice looking edgery. So now that this line is finished, this is what it looks like. I put a flower and even a first aid in there. Putting the things like first aid service and policemen and things like that within your park make it so you get security awards and tidiest park award, so you just get little trophies for having nice parks. So I'm just going to turn on the ride so it stops going up and down. But actually the park closed right now, so no one will actually be coming into the park. It makes it easy on my behalf because they just start flooding, and then they get you get a low rating right away because you don't have any rides. So that's just a good thing that you guys should probably keep in mind. I think that's center. Indeed it is. So you're going to see, I really like to use this kind of double path look. But it can get kind of repetitive. So you have to be careful. So why don't we go ahead and build our first ride. Normally when I build my first ride, I make it very much so more childish. And if you look at real theme parks, they most of the time will put the kids' rides in the front of the park and then put some of the more extreme rides in the back of the park. And it's just, I think it's because you don't want to walk your kids all the way to the back because they're going to get cranky and things like that. So why don't we just make a nice little kind of one of these rides where you spin around. Now, because it is close to 4th of July when I'm recording this, we are going to have a nice patriotic feel for this ride. It's blue and white, and we'll make the car red. All red. So it'll be red, white, and blue. And we'll call it like America Spinning, or I don't know. Whatever you might want to call it. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to start to make the beginning part of this ride. So right here, I've made kind of a little introduction, which you'll see with most rides. They actually have a nice little introduction. I just call it an introduction. I really don't know what a better word to call it is. But it's just a little area before the chain lift, and it, adds to the experience. So, like I said, this is going to be a childish ride, so it's not going to be very tall, but it is going to be spinning around pretty quickly. So, hopefully, they enjoy it, because it actually does say if the people in the park are enjoying it, and it's important to look at that stuff, because if you're not playing in free mode like how we are, or sandbox, you actually have to pay for all your resources that you use, and it gets very expensive, and I prefer not to play on it because it's just annoying, I think, but many people do like to play on it. Maybe after we finish this park, I will play a few games within the career mode, because career mode is fun, just you have much more restrictions than you do here. So as you can see, you can actually watch the cars go as if it were a part of the real ride. And that's one of the cool things about Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. In Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, it just gave you a 2D rendering from a distance, so you can actually get on the ride like how we are about to get on the ride when this is finished. But you can't actually get on the ride, so that's one of the more annoying parts of that one of Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 that I like more in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. Now, you'll see, when you try to get very closely, you know that, and then you can place the cart there. And again, these are just knowing the worst because sometimes the audience is really good, but, you always remember it right now. So I'm just going to go like this, and then boost. I'm going to try to have the right stick a little off the path, because, it can get weird. It can get weird now, if they get close to next to the patch. That's the idea. So, I have my completed ride here, and it's, now I have to place the exit in the beginning of the ride, the entrance and the exit, and this is all it is. What's actually pretty cool about this too is if I really do enjoy the ride, I can actually come in here and save it, and I can put it in other parts of the park if I want to get rid of it from here. So it makes it pretty easy. These are just some of the really good things about Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 that Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 cannot do, and that's why I like Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 more. So why don't we actually just take a hop ride onto this ride so we can watch it for ourselves. From this perspective, it's going to be from what the passenger is looking at. Or, yeah, this is their perspective. So as you can see, it's a pretty short ride, but that's my intention about these beginning ones. They don't have to be very big because they're going to draw a lot of people to the park. And while you're spending your precious time actually making the larger rides, you'll have the fan base in your park to actually support the large rides that you need. You need the large amount of people for them. So sometimes a good thing with these little segways in the ground, or the little partition in the ground, is you can actually do little entrance paths like this, so it makes it easy for people to get it right on because it's right in the middle. But I kind of find it a little bit of a nuisance because it makes it so you can't put stuff in the middle, and that was kind of the intention. So what I'll do is I will just do this. And this, too, is a little bit of a nuisance, but it works because you have to go around. But that's better than nothing. But also what I like to do on the exits is I normally will not use a queue line or a queue path for an exit because it limits what it doesn't look as good, I guess I'm trying to say. It limits what you can actually put on it. So if I really wanted to, I can actually put a toilet right on it, but you can't do that over here. It doesn't connect like how it would right there. It just doesn't allow you to do it on the queue paths. So why don't we just open this up and actually let a few people come into the park. A few people should start coming in now. I'm actually going to make oh, it already is. I'm going to make the price for the park free, and because we're in sandbox mode, I normally will just make the rides free as well, because then more people come to the park and they'll ride the rides. And you're not actually losing anything because you have unlimited money. But if you were in career mode, that's the stupidest thing you could do, is make your rides free to ride. And because you have to pay the operation costs. Also, if you look over here, I actually spiffied this up a little bit. I made it so it's much more alive and green, and just more, I guess, more colorful and nice. I actually added a few fountains and some flowers. But why don't we actually hop ahead and put a nice little carnival ride right here, just because there's extra space. So we can do the rides, and why don't we do something like so this might be a little off the theme, but okay. We put the sort of there, and at the end, down over here. I disapprove of the rides in real life that you walk through the shop at the end, because it's kind of rude to make force the shop experience. So you can, but you can't really, because they have access to stuff that people won't buy, you know, so also those rides that when you on them, it's like a park, so they'll exit takes you halfway around the park. Yeah, those are not good. So this isn't that. So you're going to see people are going to start coming in here now, and I'm just going to make the price for this free. Again, if you're in career mode, that's the stupidest idea that you can possibly do, but because we are in this mode specifically, it's perfectly fine to do. Also, over here, I'm actually going to make a nice little cafeteria. What I mean by cafeteria, it's just going to be an area full of food stalls. So it won't be anything specifically special. You can't put park benches. Well, you can put park benches down, which is what I'm going to be doing right here. But I'm actually going to make that like a little nature path. And there's going to be food stalls and bathrooms and stuff over here. And I'm going to make a nice little lake and do everything. It's just a nice little picnic area. So I'm going to So this is the product of what I've been working on for the last few minutes. You can see I added a nice little nature walk through here. It has a few benches and trees and a little lake in the middle. Along with over here, this is the food stands, and the lemonade and the drink stand are hidden by the two big trees on either side. Now, this is here because it adds to the effect of the nice look at the park. But you also get awards for having a lot of trees and stuff. They say you're a green park. They say you're a nice park, and the amount of trophies you get actually correlates to your success, which sounds very much so realistic, because it is. But then also, if you look over here, I added more fountains and things of the sort. So why don't we go ahead and extend this way and add another carnival ride. So why don't we actually make another focal point on this side? We can even do something like this, and then, so as you guys can see, I'm done with that little scenic area. So I came over here and I added another little focal point for this side here. It's actually one of those disco spinning rides. So why don't we just go right ahead and add the path? And it doesn't need to be anything fancy. I do tend to either just make these go straight because they're easy to do it that way, and it just looks very simplistic, which I like my simplicity. But if we go back, remember, see how I was talking about the awards? We won Best Toilet and Best Tidiest Park. So as you can see, I'm done with the line, and the disco is actually running right now. I added the trees like I normally do, and I even added this nice little souvenirs thing. These will all start to pull the people over, as you can see. Actually, this ride here, we should actually name it right now. So it's not just Virginia Real. We can call it American Spinner, which is a really stupid name. And then we can just get rid of the one and call it disco and add some nice funky music. Again, see, all the simple steps make the park look very nice. As you can see in just in the last few minutes that we've been doing this episode, the park has really evolved into a very hip happening place. So come back next episode and you'll see even more. I'll do a little bit in between now and then so we can just keep on moving with the pace of this series. Thank you so much. Why don't you check out our other series, which includes new things on our Minecraft side. Even a new Sims series is coming up. Hope you enjoy. This is Mr. Gamer Freak signing off, and see you next time.